Hello, good afternoon. This is David Soto talking to you, and today is my weekly trade predictions for the upcoming trading week of September 28th through October 2nd, 2020. So now we're rolling into a new month, and we're going to see a lot of new things happening. Okay, and my last week trade predictions, I predicted that everything would be more or less in a flat range of market, and I was a little bit off because now we're starting to see some new trends develop. Okay, we're seeing the euro, the Great British pound, the Australian dollar, all those pairs starting to finally drop, and the US dollar starting to finally rebound. So I feel very strongly that the US dollar did in fact hit a final bottom last week and is now starting to go into a new uptrend, which is good for the US economy. Also, I want to point out real quick that this coming Friday is the non-farm payroll for the US dollar only. Okay, the Canadian dollar, they will not release their job reports, their unemployment figures until the following Friday. Okay, so this Friday I do not expect any huge volatility, but do note that the unemployment figures for the US dollar are expected to drop slightly, okay, which is a plus for the US dollar. So we should see the US dollar to continue to gain strength. Okay, now to begin with, I'm going to look at EURUSD, okay, on a 30-minute chart. And if we look here at EURUSD, okay, we do see that this past week it has dropped quite a bit, as a matter of fact. If we get the crosshairs, we look from here to here, we got a over 2,000 point drop. So that's a pretty significant drop in the euro versus US dollar. So, but now we see the price has pretty much bottomed out here, and it looks like it's going to be going up, but it's not really going up yet. Okay, so the bigger question right now, is it going to be going up or is it going to be going down? That is to be determined. I do not think it's going to be going up a lot. It might go up slightly. Let's look at the 4-hour chart real quick and see what we can see here on the higher time frames. The 4-hour chart does show we hit a solid level of support. Okay, now it should be going up this week. Okay, but the daily chart and the weekly chart show it to be dropping. Okay, so yes, long term this is definitely going to be dropping. Okay, as we have shown in the last previous two videos. So what I think is going to happen this week, we're going to see this rebound. Okay, and it's going to be a slow fight up. Okay, this is all dependent if the US dollar goes down. I do not think we're going to see a huge gain. We have a resistance right here. Okay, pretty strong resistance and support. So I do think that the price will probably go back up close to this. Okay, that's a pretty big gain though, 600 point gain. So yes, in the beginning of the week we should see this go up. Also, there is some news coming out about the euro. Okay, so do expect the euro to gain some strength this week. So in the beginning of the week we can expect this to, like I said, go up. On the 1-hour chart here, you get a little bit clearer picture of what's going on, and we see the price has, you know, escalated all the way down to here. Now I would expect the price to go back up and hit this, and possibly could go a little higher, but possibly form a red arrow on the 1-hour chart, either here or at the next resistance, which is right here. Okay, we have a support and resistance here as well, so it's very possible. So technically you can both buy and sell. Okay, if we go back to the 30-minute chart, right now is an excellent time to buy. Okay, the Euro USD, you could buy and hold and wait for the next red arrow using a 30-minute chart. Okay, I always stick to the 30-minute chart. And this week we know that the euro is going to a downtrend. Okay, so you can both buy and sell, that's fine, but to be 100% safe, I would stick to sell trades only. I'll leave that up to you exactly, you know, what you do. You can both buy and sell, but the sell is going to have a greater precedence. Okay, it's going to, you'll gain more profit in the long run. Okay, less risk. So if you want, wait until you have a red arrow on a 30-minute chart and then sell. Okay, that's going to take probably a couple of days for that to happen, right? I predict probably around Wednesday we should see this drop back down. All right, and moving on to Great British Pound versus the US dollar. Again, we see the price had dropped and then it just flatlined here. Okay, now we're in a very tight range of market. If we look right here, from this point to this point is only is 1,000 points, which is actually very small for the Great British Pound GBP pairs. So, but that's good. You can get some decent profit off of this pair. We should see a continuation of this week. If we look at the 4-hour chart, we have an up arrow. Okay, we've had that for the last 2 weeks. So yes, this is slowly escalating up. Okay, the Great British Pound is definitely fighting against the US dollar. So that's kind of a plus. And we should see this go back up. Okay, if you look here on the 1-hour chart, we have an up arrow but no red arrow. So what I think is going to happen, we have a strong resistance right here. Okay, hit this resistance here. There was a support here, resistance here, resistance. So it's still a resistance, and we can expect the price to hit this point and form a red arrow. Okay, so again, you can put your charts on a 30-minute time frame, and you could go ahead and buy right now at this moment, and or as soon as the market's open, and place a buy trade and close it when you get the next red arrow. Okay, at least you'll get some profit out of this. And then when you get another red arrow, you can, you know, repeat the process. You can sell and close on the next blue arrow. Okay, so we will see more or less another flat range of market this week with the GBPUSD. But now keep in mind, you know, this is going up on the 4-hour chart, but look at the daily and weekly. The daily and weekly, well, the daily shows to go down, the weekly shows to go up. But the thing to note here with the weekly chart is that the price hit right here the same point it hit before with this red arrow. For whatever reason, there was no red arrow here, and that is really because the price did not hit the exact same spot as this. Okay, if it went up just a little bit more, it would have hit a red arrow, but it never did. So long term, I definitely feel this will be dropping. Okay, the daily chart shows to go down, which takes a stronger precedence than the 4-hour chart. So like I said before, the 4-hour chart, we should see a gain this week, and then in the coming weeks we're going to see this drop back down even more. And that's going to take, it's going to be true if the US dollar keeps gaining strength. Okay, now if we look at the Australian dollar versus the US dollar, okay, if you look here on the 30-minute chart this past week, again we see a nice steady drop. Okay, now it has flatlined at the bottom here and looks like it wants to go up. Okay, hard to say. So let's look at the 4-hour chart real quick and see what's going on. The 4-hour chart shows to go up. Okay, it's been fighting to go up for quite some time. The Australian dollar is a very strong currency pair, as well as the US dollar. So these two, you know, always go neck and neck, and they always fight. Oh wow, look at that, it just refreshed. Okay, so let me change my story a bit. Okay, the 4-hour chart, anyways, we know the 4-hour chart has hit a strong level of support, and the daily chart shows to go down, and the weekly chart as well. That has not changed. Okay, that has not changed. Oh, there we go, let it refresh. I am getting ahead of myself. I'm so sorry, my Wi-Fi is not fast enough to catch up. Anyhow, okay, let's look here. Let's wait a second. Let's see if this refreshes. I think it's good now. Anyhow, we had a nice drop. Okay, we saw that on the 30-minute chart. We had a nice drop, and the 4-hour chart reflects that as well. But it has hit a very solid level of support on the 4-hour chart. The daily and the weekly show to be dropping. So we should see more of a drop here in the coming weeks. All right. Now, for this week, we can expect the price to surge back up. Okay, by the end of the week, we should see a drop again. depending on the report for the non-farm payroll, okay, for the US dollar. If in fact the US dollar does have a good job report, then we should see this drop. Okay, the US dollar goes up, Australian dollar will go down. Okay, but like I said, these are two very strong currencies. So, but as of right now, with the 1 hour chart and the 30-minute chart showing to go up, I feel that it is very safe to place a buy trade right now. Okay, I would keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame. Okay, buy now and close on the next red arrow. So basically what I've already told you in the last two currency pairs. So more or less, we're probably going to see a flat range of market this week. Okay, so you can pretty much buy and sell with this 30-minute chart. Okay, but do keep in mind that the long-term trend is bearish. Okay, so if you want to be 100% safe, sell only. Okay, I'll leave it up to you, but you definitely could buy now and then close on the next red arrow and then sell again. Okay, US dollar versus the Swiss franc. Let's go to this one. Now, if the euro, Great British pound, Australian dollar, all those are going down, they're dropping, right? And US dollar should be going up. Okay, US dollar has an opposite correlation to the other pairs. Like example, Euro USD is dropping, that means the US dollar is going up. Okay, so if we look here on USDCHF, we do see a solid gain this week. That's very good for the US dollar. The US economy is starting to finally turn around. Okay, and we'll probably see more of that in the coming weeks if Congress passes the next second stimulus package, which they've been fighting for a long time, and we will see exactly what happens. If the US government, US Congress passes a second stimulus, that will pump more money into the US economy, and we'll see the dollar gain strength even more. But that has not yet happened. So for now, we see here on the 30-minute chart that we hit a pretty solid level of resistance on the top here. Now let's look at the 4-hour chart and see what's going on here as well. The 4-hour chart shows the drop. Wow, so the 30-minute chart shows the drop. The 4-hour shows the drop as well, because we have a red arrow but no blue arrow. So, but one thing to note is that we have a pretty solid level of support right here. Okay, never formed a blue arrow here, but what I think is going to happen is the price will drop back down, and it'll drop somewhere in here, and it should form a blue arrow on the 4-hour chart. Okay, now if we look at the daily chart, the daily chart shows to go up. Okay, it's been doing that for quite a while, and the weekly as well. All right, that has not changed, okay, from our previous videos. So we can tell here definitely by the weekly chart that this is definitely gaining momentum, and it's definitely gaining strength and going up, right? Monthly chart I'm not so much worried about, but the weekly and daily, those are showing to go up. Okay, it's going to take some time. Okay, it's definitely going to take some time for this to rebound and go up. So we already hit this pretty solid support, and it's starting to go up. So what's going to happen? Okay, the 4-hour chart shows the drop, 1-hour chart shows the drop. So in the short term, it's going to drop. Okay, but in the long term, and in the coming weeks, this will gain a lot more strength. Okay, we know that. Keep that in the back of your mind. So if you want to be 100% safe, I would buy only. Okay, but right now, I do feel that the US dollar will be dropping. Okay, like I said, AUDUSD should be going up, GBPUSD should be going up this week, EURUSD should be going up this week. That means the US dollar will be dropping this week. Okay, so the US dollar should be dropping this week, and that's fine. Okay, that's perfectly fine. So as of right now, if you put your charts on the 30-minute time frame, you could sell right now and close on the next blue arrow. Okay, you have some decent profit in this, and then you can buy again when you get a blue arrow and close when you get another red arrow. Just keep repeating that process. I think this week we're going to see more or less a flat range of market across all the currency pairs. Okay, but that's to be determined. Now, if you want to be 100% safe, like I already stated, you could buy only. Okay, I'll leave that up to you. That's exactly what you do. But it is safe to both buy and sell. So anyhow, moving on. Moving on to USD Jpy. Okay, USD Jpy. Again, we see the US dollar did gain strength. Okay, and now it's hit a pretty solid level of resistance. Okay, so again, this looks like it will be dropping. If we go to the 4-hour chart, we have a blue arrow but no red arrow. Okay, so what's going to happen? Okay, this is a little bit different patterns develop USD Jpy. The 4-hour chart has a solid support here, and we hit the same solid support here. The weekly chart shows to go up, and the monthly chart shows to go down, but we're not worried about the monthly so much. We're only worried about the daily and weekly to determine our long-term trend, what's going to happen in the coming weeks. So as we know, US dollar is gaining momentum, so the US dollar should be going up here in the coming weeks. But if we look at smaller time frames, the 4-hour, the daily, and the 30-minute, they show the drop. Okay, now the 4-hour does not have a red arrow, but has hit a pretty solid level of resistance. Okay, so what I feel is going to happen is that we're going to see the price drop in the beginning of the week. Okay, by the end, towards the end of the week, you know, Wednesday going to Thursday, we should see the price resurge and go back up. So in the beginning of the week, how far is it going to drop? It's a very, very good question. So if we look right here, we have a pretty solid support right here. Okay, it dropped a little bit lower right here, but we see a resistance here. Okay, we look in the past, we can see that this was a resistance and support before, but the fact that it's a resistance here, support, and it's still a support, indicates to me that the price most likely will drop back down to this point and then rebound up. Okay, so if you keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame, all right, which is excellent for day-to-day trading, you can sell now and then close the trade when you get a blue arrow, and then buy again when you get the next blue arrow and close on the next red arrow. Okay, just keep repeating that process, buy and sell. To be 100% safe, again, buy only. Okay, just because the long-term trend is showing to go up. Okay, so if you want, and I see here on the 30-minute chart, the price is like stagnant right now. That's normal for a Friday. Okay, especially on a Friday afternoon, the market is kind of dead. So now we're going to see things heat up on Monday. So I feel that we're going to see the price drop. Okay, and then around Wednesday going to Thursday, we should see the price go back up. And if the job report on Friday is good as predicted, we should see the US dollar really gain a lot more momentum going up. Okay, now let's look at USD Cad, our final currency pair in the lineup. Again, we see that we had a slight gain, which is good. Okay, US dollar and Canadian dollar are both very strong currencies, and they're both in North America, and they both fight well together. Okay, so they're always neck and neck, and they're both definitely fighting to gain strength. So like I said, right now we're in a very, very tight range of market, very small movements. Okay, it's not necessarily a good thing to trade right now because it's such small movements. But we see here on the 4-hour chart, okay, the 4-hour chart has a strong red arrow, a strong level of resistance. So again, oh, see, they're refreshed. That's okay. We should see the US dollar drop. Okay, we already hit a strong level of resistance. The price here dropped, came back up, which is okay, and we're at a strong resistance. So at the beginning of the week, again, we should see the price drop, form a support, and go back up again. Okay, if we look at the daily chart, this has not changed. Okay, from last week, price has been escalating up, and the weekly chart as well. Now, like I've said before, the weekly chart here never formed a blue arrow, but it did hit the same level of support that it did before. The reason it never hit a blue arrow before is simply because this point here is slightly higher than this previous point. Okay, but we can definitely tell we're at a strong level of support, and it's already rebounding and coming back up. So we should see this escalate going up in the long term, okay? And I do feel that this will be, going up in the coming weeks. If we look here on the 4-hour chart, daily chart, 1 hour, 30-minute, everything is showing the drop. 30-minute chart does not have a red arrow, okay? But it hit pretty much the same level of resistance it hit before here, and it's already dropping. So this is why I always recommend looking at all the different time frames to try to get an idea what the market is doing, both long term and short term. You kind of gauge your trading, okay? So if we look at that 1 hour chart, which is default, we have a red arrow but no blue arrow. So we can expect the US dollar, Canadian dollar to drop in the beginning of this week, and then slowly rebound towards the end of the week, okay, and come back up. So that follows suit with all the other USD pairs. So it's nice to look at all the USD currency pairs and get an idea of what all the pairs are doing, so you can get an overall analysis. Do not stick to just one currency pair or just one time frame even, okay? Look at everything and get a good ballpark figure in your mind of what the market is doing, okay? That's what I do every single day when I trade. So anyhow, this concludes my weekly trade predictions. If you have any questions at all about these predictions or any of my other predictions, please let me know on Facebook. If you have, this is important, if you have another currency pair that you want me to look at, okay, I am more than happy to help you. Just hit me up on Facebook and ask me, because there's a lot of other currency pairs that I cannot look at right in this video. I'd be more than happy to help you. There also, you can contact me on Facebook, but also there's a link for my private Facebook group, and you can post any questions or comments in my Facebook group, okay? Just click the link below, request to join, and I will add you. So anyhow, that is all I have for you today. So let me know if you have any questions. I'll be more than happy to help you. So thank you. Have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week trading ahead, okay? Thank you so much.